Hey guys, welcome back to Python tutorial. In the previous video, we learned how to use the print method. For this video, we're going to make our programs more dynamic by introducing variables. Here, I have an example of a variable called EMP, or short for employee, containing the string value John. Think of variables as containers for storing data. There are also other data types as well. Examples of data types are string and integer. Data type of a variable is determined during the assignment of its value. So going back to our variable, EMP, the moment I assign the value of John, and close with double quotes, is the moment it gets to be of string data type. Remember, strings can be enclosed by double quotes or single quotes. Another example would be here. Salary is equal to 500. The moment I assign the value of 500, the salary variable gets created as an integer data type. Now let's proceed on using these variables on a print statement. Let's say print hello, my name is, and then let's append this EMP variable. So what's going to happen here is that it's going to print out hello, my name is, and then whatever the value of EMP here. The plus sign, when used inside a print statement, this one, is used to append the string on the right with whatever is on the left. Since the EMP variable has a value of John, this print statement is going to print, hello, my name is John. Let's run our program. Instead of printing out, hello, my name is EMP, it printed out, hello, my name is John. Let's add another print statement using the other variable. Let's say print my salary is, and then append our salary variable. Unlike on our previous example, this one's going to print an error since you can only place strings inside a print statement. Let's see that in action. So it threw an error saying can only concatenate str or string but not int or integer to a string. Okay? That's because you can only append a string with another string as well. To fix this, we're going to do something called casting. So let's do that. Here, I'm passing the salary variable inside the str function to convert this variable to a string. There are also other functions that can be used to convert a variable to a specific data type. There's also the int function used for converting to integer data type. Anyway, let's run this again and see what will happen. And the error is gone. Take note that when we performed casting on a salary variable, it only converted to string data type during the moment we use it on the print statement. If I use this variable again on the next lines of the code, it's still going to be of integer type. On another note, based on this output, hello, my name is John, my salary is 500. John right here is quite proud of his salary, but he could be prouder when he gets a salary raise. Let's say John was promoted and gets a raise. Here we are updating the value of salary variable to 1,000. Then let's add another print statement saying, but I got promoted, so my current salary is, oops, let's change that, is, then append our salary variable. So there's no limit to how much you can reference a variable. So let's try using salary variable again. Let's say John really wanted to stick it to the face of his colleagues. He's gonna say, oh, did I mention that my salary is, then the salary variable. Let's run this one. So it's printing out, hello, my name is John, my salary is 500, but I got promoted, so my current salary is 1,000. Oh, did I mention that my salary is 1,000? Going back to our mini story, unfortunately, there was a recession and John's employer needs to reduce his salary by 200. To reflect that unfortunate change in our program, we can set this variable to 800. Then let's run it again. And there you go. The change was reflected. So that's one of the benefits of using variables as opposed to hard coding values in your program. I only had to change one line of code, this one right here, instead of these two lines. Another thing with variables is when naming them, we need to follow a set of rules. First, a variable name must start with a letter or the underscore character. So a variable like this, dog is equal to arf arf, is a valid variable name. Second, a variable name cannot start with an integer. So if I change this variable name to 1 dog, it's gonna cause an error as seen with the red line of code here. Then third, a variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. So if I name my variable like this, it's going to throw an error as well. And lastly, variable names are case sensitive. For instance, I can declare 3 variables such as this. Age is equal to 1, age is equal to 2, age is equal to 3. Let's just remove this stuff right here. Then let's print these variables. As you can see, the output is different with each line. Due to the case sensitivity of Python, these 3 variables are treated as a separate instances. Operators can be used to perform different operations on variables and values. For example, you can do an addition inside the print statement. Let's do that. I'll say 1 plus 1 here, and then run this. And the result is 2, as expected. You can also do an operation during the assignment of variables. Let's create 3 integer variables. I would create x is equal to 5, y is equal to 5 as well, then z deriving its value from x and y. Then let's just print z. Then I'll run this. So as expected, the output here was 10. Aside from the 4 arithmetic operators that we are familiar with, which are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, there's also an operator called modulo. A modulo performs division between two values, and the result is whatever the remainder is. For example, if I perform 5 modulo 2, so the character for modulo is percent. So 5 modulo 2, this will result into 1. So let's just see that. So there, the result was 1. So if we perform 4 modulo 2, let's see the result. So 4 modulo 2, the result is 0 because there is no remainder. And lastly, there's the exponentiation. I know it's a big word, but all it does is raise a number to the power of another. For example, let's clear this one. When I exponentiate 2 by 3, so the character for exponentiation is double asterisk. So 2 exponentiate by 3, the result would be 8 because you would multiply 2 by itself 3 times, right? Let's run this one. So there, the result was 8. Personally, I could just call this operator double star or double asterisk. It's just my preference. Aside from printing out stuff on our console, Python also allows for user input. This can be accomplished by using the input function. For example, you can create a variable like name, but instead of redefining this variable, we can ask the user for the value by using the input function. So let's do that. And then inside the input function, you can include a string which will be used to prompt the user. So I will put here, enter your first name. Then let's use the user input inside the print function. So print first name is, then let's append the name variable. Let's run this. Enter your first name, so I'm gonna put here John. So when we entered John, it was assigned to the name variable. As a result, the output was first name is John. Okay, with what we've learned so far, we can create a simple calculator that can do addition. We'll ask the user for two numbers as an input. Let's say we'll define the first number as num1. So let's use the input function again. Please enter the first number. I'll just clean this one right here. Oh, by the way, the value we get from the user will always be a string. So we need to cast the input of the user to integer. So this one. I'll just clean it again. Okay, going back. Then, for our second variable as well, we'll need to do the same. So I'll just cast this one first. Then I'll copy this one, then change it to 2. So there we'll be prompting the user for 2 input. Then we'll print out the result of this operation. So print result is, then let's add these two variables, num1 plus num2. But in this case, we need to cast the resulting integer, this one. We need to cast it as well, but this time to string. Okay, so I'll do it here like this. So str, so what's the error? Okay, I get it. I'm missing a parenthesis. Anyway, let's see what the result is. So I'm entering my first number, which is 5, and second number, let's say 3. So it printed out 8 as a result. Okay, great. But what if we enter a decimal number as an input? Let's try it again. So first number is 5, but for the second number, let's do 0.2, so a decimal number. So as we can see, it's throwing an error. Why? Because 0.2 is not considered an integer type, but rather a float data type. So a float or floating data type is a number, positive or negative, that contains one or more decimal. So if we want our program to support decimal as an input, we can cast our input to float instead. So let's just do that. So float, this one will be float as well. Then let's try running this one again. So I'm gonna enter 5, then 0.2. And there you go. It was able to process decimal numbers. So 5.2 was the result. Okay? For this exercise, we need to create a program which produces the payslip of an employee for the month. Here are the requirements. First, there will be two inputs, the daily wage and days rendered. Second, we also need to apply a tax of 20% to the monthly gross salary. We need to output the actual value of the tax. And third, we need to generate the net income, which is calculated by subtracting the actual tax to the gross income. Gross income is the daily wage multiplied by days rendered. The program output should look like this. I suggest to pause the video before looking at the resulting code. Try doing the exercise yourself first. It would help you get comfortable with Python syntax and formulating your own logic. This goes as well for the succeeding exercises. To start our program, we'll create the tax rate variable and set this to 0.20, which is 20%. Then, let's create a variable for salary and accept float data as an input. So float, our input function, and our prompt, please enter daily wage. And let's add another variable for number of days rendered. So days rendered is equal to, then let's accept integer as an input. So int input, please enter days rendered. Then let's create gross income variable, which will store the salary multiplied by days rendered. Let's also create total tax variable and set it to gross income multiplied by tax rate. And lastly, let's create net pay variable, which will be gross income minus total tax. Now we're ready to run our program. We'll just add print statements here to print the results. So I'm just gonna enter a \n here to give some space or a new line, and then append our gross income variable, then print another line, this time with the tax. I'm just gonna put a guide here for the user. Then I'm gonna append total tax, and lastly we're gonna print the net pay. So net pay, a mini guide for the user. Then append net pay variable. Alright, let's run this one. So please enter daily wage. I'm just gonna put here 200, and then please enter days rendered, so 20 days. So here, as you can see, the gross income was 4,000, so 200 multiplied by 20, and then total tax of 20% of gross, which is 800, because 20% multiplied by 4,000, and then the net pay is gross, which is 4,000, minus the total tax, which is 3,200. Alright, so we've created our payslip program. To recap, we learned how to use variables and explore different data types. We also learned how casting data type works. Then, we started using operators on our program. And lastly, we made our program interactive by introducing user input. In the next video, we're going to make our programs more powerful by introducing if statements to control the flow of our program. Thanks for watching, guys, and hope to catch you on the next video.